Well, as someone said, this is the end of the end or something like that. The final event within the workshop. I unfortunately couldn't be here the whole time, but I did make it back over for the last session. And I was very, very pleased to see the list of items that have been put together for further discussion and to focus on. It was indeed very few items, which is very encouraging. It was a thrill to see the way the community is coming together, because that really helps us. I really do appreciate the comments that were made about the NSF. It makes us all feel very good. And I would like to refer again to the fact that the physical life sciences interface is one area that we have been working on, I personally, for well over a decade. But, and from the perspective of the physics division with the Directorate for Biosciences, we've worked very closely together over many years, and one of the last things, I guess, most recent things that we did, certainly, since we only put out the award for this workshop on last Friday, I think, between the Integrative and Organismal Systems Division. So in connection with this workshop, or with this partnership that we enjoy, certainly between the physics division and, as I mentioned in my opening remarks yesterday, with all of the mathematical and physical sciences, and the Director for Biosciences, it gives me great pleasure to introduce, to make some closing remarks, the Assistant Director for the Directorate for Biosciences, Dr. John Wingfield. He's actually a neuroscientist, so many of you may know him, and he certainly will know. I will have to say a lot more about the science that's been discussed here than I certainly do. But John has been at the NSF now for 2 or 3 years, coming from the University of California at Davis. So I'll turn this over to John.
Thank you very much, Denise, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm actually a neuroendocrinologist. I don't know whether that's good or bad in this community, but I do teach neuroscience at Davis, so that's a good point. Well, it's quite clear that although I haven't had much time to attend the meeting, Mondays and Tuesdays are always excessively busy with many meetings at NSF, but the time I have spent here, it's been clear there's a lot of excitement. There's certainly a lot of excitement at NSF. And, you know, this workshop was actually planned just a few short weeks ago after President Obama mentioned brain activity mapping, human brain activity mapping, in his State of the Union address. And this was the inspiration for Krasta and Blagoev to say, we need a workshop on this. And that brought a lot of people together in NSF and mathematical, physical sciences and bio in particular. And here we have this workshop. At the time, we had no idea how opportune the topics would be and the timing would be. As you know, just over a month ago, President Obama rolled out the BRAIN initiative. And last Friday, there was a PCAST meeting. This is the President's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology. And that was a panel with NIH, DARPA, and NSF giving a short presentation on their take on the BRAIN initiative, what they plan to do. And it was very well received, I felt, by the PCAST members. And so I think then on Sunday we had the first in-person meeting of the advisory committee to the NIH, the DREAM team, here at the Holiday Inn just after the reception for this meeting. So I think this is just perfect timing. This really is the kickoff for the BRAIN initiative, as I think it encompasses so much basic biology, which is what NSF does. So I think that this has really been an excellent beginning. I feel, as AD for Bio, and talking with many other directorates that have biological sciences in their portfolio as well, that this is really truly a great moment for life sciences, despite the ugly budget climate right now. So we are on the cusp of so many advances, from cyber infrastructure to anatomy of the brain, imaging and function. And in the absence of any new money for this initiative, both the NIH, DARPA, Kavli and NSF will allocate their funds in their own ways. But I think this has been really a good start for the NSF to bring you together. We are already heavily invested, as you know, in the best basic science that's relevant to the brain activity mapping and the brain initiative in general. And we also have a neurosciences working group within the foundation that has been meeting now for well over a year. The neuroscience has been a focus of our 14 request, which was put forward to OMB before the Office of Management and Budget, before we knew anything about the brain initiative coming along. And we also have a Dear Colleague letter out, which many of you may have seen, where we're actually inviting proposals that involve research portfolios from at least 2 directorates at NSF. So I think we're really very well poised to be a leader in this brain initiative, at least at the basic level. And this workshop has been such an exciting opportunity to learn all that is going on right now, and in particular where the gaps are and the roadblocks are in the future, and how we might come together to solve those problems as we move forward. So I think at the end of the workshop here is a time to reflect on all that has gone on here, and I know there's an awful lot, and I'm looking forward to being debriefed on the issues that I missed. But what the follow-up will be. It's been my experience, and I've been to a number of workshops myself, where we've had a great time. It's been really exciting. We all go home, and then nothing happens. This, I think, is not going to happen in this case. There are, and I hope there will be all sorts of ideas on how we can follow up. A number of issues I've heard about that have been discussed here. I'd just like to mention 2 of them, not in any particular order of priority, but one involves data, cyber infrastructure and so forth for the future. I think that this is critical, and we all understand that an awful lot that has been proposed and is the vision for the future will ultimately depend on you, the community, building that cyber infrastructure, and how we're going to deal with the enormous data sets, whether they be genomics data sets or brain imaging data sets and so forth. This one is going to be critical, and it's something we take very, very seriously at the NSF, and not just in bio, but across all of the directorates. And we're thinking of the best ways we can enable the community to actually build that infrastructure. And then another one is educating the future workforce. Are we really teaching undergraduates and graduate students, and even at the postdoc level, to be facile with all of the tools, particularly the cyber tools that they'll need to be able to work so easily with these diverse data sets, from anatomical to activity of neurons to images and so forth, how to be completely interoperable. And I think students in the future, all of us agree it's a requirement that for myself too, is to become more facile with informatics so we can use those tools. So those are just 2 examples of the breadth of things that we are thinking about at NSF, not just in bio, but in MPS and engineering and so forth, and how we can enable all that we need to be able to realize a lot of the goals and the vision of the BRAIN initiative. So I don't want to go on for too long. I know I'm the last thing before you all get to head home. So I just want to thank you all so much for coming here, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure you have, with the excitement I heard here earlier today. And I look forward to seeing many of you again and hearing more about the follow-up and any further workshops or dear colleague letters that will follow from this workshop. So thanks again, and I hope you all have safe travels home. If you have any questions, I'll be willing to ask about NSF. I'll be willing to ask those to answer those too.
So I just want to say one more thing. I really want to thank Sarah for all the hard work that she did. The people that video recorded all these sessions and worked with the sound, that great job for us. Thank you so much. I want to thank the rapporteurs for all the hard work here, summarizing the breakout sessions, giving the microphones, real help for us. Thank you so much. And thank you to all of you for coming. I think the workshop was a great success. There is already a blog on Nature, on the Nature website about the workshop. So things are moving fast. Thank you very much.